In the category of medicine and health sciences,
Jack Andreyka won the grand prize at the Intel International Science and Engineering Fair, the largest high school science competition in the world, held last year in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
the top award winners.
His excitement is understandable. The 16-year-old Maryland resident is the youngest ever recipient of the $75,000 award, beating out more than 1,500 students from 70 countries. Jack's win follows a lifelong interest in science. It's a passion encouraged by his parents, inspired by his brother, a winner at the 2010 Intel Fair, and nurtured at his Glen Burnie, Maryland high school.
Then what we would do is we would define S of n.
He won the competition for his development of a simple and inexpensive test that provides early detection of pancreatic cancer, something he became interested in after losing a close family friend to the disease.
I went on the internet and I found that 85% of all pancreatic cancers are diagnosed late, when someone has less than a 2% chance of survival. And I was thinking, that's not right. We should be able to do something.
Jack Andreyka did do something. He went back online and learned that people with pancreatic cancer have elevated levels of a protein called mesothelin in their bloodstream. Borrowing a lab at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, he went on to develop a simple paper sensor that can detect the mesothelin in a single drop of blood or urine, signaling the presence of pancreatic cancer earlier than was possible with previous tests. Jack's test is 90% accurate.
The sensor is 400 times more sensitive, 168 times faster, and over 26,000 times less expensive. It costs 3 cents per test, and then also it takes only 5 minutes to run.
Jack's mentor at Johns Hopkins University, Dr. Anirban Mitra, was the only one out of 200 researchers to respond favorably to emails the students sent out describing his project.
I have to admit, initially I was very surprised that this was a 15-year-old who was writing this. I wanted to meet this obviously gifted young man and see what he wanted to talk about. And so I called him over for an interview. He's very impressive.
In 2011, Dr. Mitra gave Jack a corner of his lab, where he worked for 7 months completing his award-winning project. He has since patented his pancreatic cancer sensor and is working on developing it into a simple over-the-counter test.
Earlier this year, as mentioned, I won an international science competition.
Jack speaks at technology conferences around the world, such as the prestigious TED Talks. He was invited by former President Bill Clinton to take part in last year's meeting of the Clinton Global Initiative. Jack's mentor, Dr. Mitra, isn't surprised by the fame this young man has already achieved.
Jack Andreyka is a name that you'll hear about in the next 10, 20 years. And if he has done what he's done at 15, who knows what he'll do when he's 25 or 35.
Or how many lives might be saved by this pancreatic cancer test created by a high school teenager. Julie Tabo, VOA News, Baltimore, Maryland.